Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for the Fokker G.IA. That's right, YouTube. Fokker, not the other word, so please don't demonetize this. This is a currently ranked 2 battle rating 2.3 strike aircraft in the French air tech tree, though of course belongs to the new kind of Benelux sub-tech tree, though of course it's mostly just Belgium and the Netherlands. So that being said, of course, this flies under the flag of the Netherlands. And this is a very interesting aircraft. It gets its air spawn in ARB, which is nice. It can carry actually quite a few bombs, but most interestingly of this vehicle is the fact that it has its LMGs all right here. Now, it's got 8 LMGs, which is kind of crazy in and of itself. They're all mounted side by side right here in the nose of the aircraft, which means that there is no gun convergence that you have to worry about. It's a little bit low on ammo for this amount of LMGs. You'd hope it would have a little bit more ammunition, but it is what it is. And this thing puts out 2.2 kilograms per second of burst mass, which is absurd for just LMGs. So this thing is pretty damn powerful at its BR. Is it crazy powerful? Not really, because it's also kind of slow. It doesn't really have a great turn time. Its rate of climb isn't great. Again, it's kind of offset by the fact that it has an air spawn, and also its rudder authority is a little bit funky when playing in Air RB. So that said, we're going to get into a few matches here, have a good time, test this thing out, and we are going to send this Fokker into the leaderboards. That said, let's get into it. Now, unfortunately, this is a really small field to be playing with, which kind of sucks, but let's just kind of go over some of the strengths and weaknesses of this aircraft. Now, when it comes to its strengths, you know, I really think that this is a really nice strength at this BR. Bear in mind, it's not a ton of burst mass equivalent, so to speak, but you have 8 of these things firing, at least a good chunk of them. They're like 2/3 or half of them are incendiary, so you will catch enemies on fire pretty damn often. I mean, it's not a lot of mass coming out of it, but it's enough that it can really rip people apart. Now, when it comes to weaknesses, of course, it's just overall performance isn't very good. You know, the twin rudder setup is not good. You know, it does harm it in some ways, but again, this is a strike aircraft. This is not necessarily meant to go after bombers. You know, and its roll rate is okay. It doesn't really have great ammo belts. You know, there's a lot of... shoot, I should have went for that guy, but I'm already too close. But see, like, rudder issues already. Let's see, can I get myself an actual kill here? Real quick, and there we go. Severe damage. Works for me. We're going to work on this ME410 now, if I have any luck here. But, I mean, overall speed isn't bad, but you have to get in a dive. Again, engines overheat quite quickly, which is a, that's a big deal in my opinion. You know, genuinely. So, let's go ahead and see if we can get this guy, and hopefully he doesn't turn in on me. He just totally went past me, but I can understand why. Let's see if we can get ourselves some hits. And he's going to try to turn. I mean, ultimately, this plane, while not very maneuverable, isn't not maneuverable. It's surprisingly maneuverable considering what it is. Now, let's see if I can get a turn in on him. And no, I can't. Combat flaps don't really work at speed, unfortunately. And you might be asking yourself, well, what speed is that? Well, any speed, really. Hopefully this ME410 is a bit damaged. It's kind of what I'm hoping here. Actually, you know what? Got severe damage! Yeah, buddy! There we go. Works for me. Even if he's not going to crash quite yet, that is not a good sign for him. I may still go for this BF-109 just until he's completely sunk, because he is still posing a bit of a threat to me, okay? And now we can go for this guy. Now, like I said, I think I said in the intro, the amount of ammunition that this thing carries is deceptive. It's not as much as you might think. Simply because... Yeah, I'm going to die here. Simply because the... like, I'm just going to do a quick trigger pull. Like, look at that. I just spent 40 rounds right there. I think these are 1,600 rounds per minute per gun. So if you had like another 100, 200 rounds per gun, that would be a big deal. But that said, let's get into another match, see how we do, but not too bad. You know, I mean, like, again, this is strike aircraft. Performance is not going to match something like a BF-109, like a Spitfire. Pretty much any similar BR fighters, you're not going to be able to match them, but it actually has surprisingly good firepower. That said, next match. So, little bit of a pro tip here, not so much a pro tip, but just a tip, I guess, in general. Always try to have the height advantage, the altitude advantage over your enemy. The reason being is because that way you'll have more energy going into the actual fight, which is always good. I'm going to turn down my engines a touch. Let's see if I can get some shots on this guy. I'm a little bit behind, not a big deal. Don't want to be too close to those bombs. And I probably should go for that A36. That would be the wise choice here. But of course, I am not wise. I am going for kills. So let's go ahead and turn back around on this guy. Enemy gunner unconscious, engine on fire. Totally fine by me. Hopefully this guy... Okay. Oh, look at that. We have ourselves some more damage on that A20. Hopefully we can actually get the kill. Severe damage, and we do. But I've already expended about half my ammunition. So, that said, I mean, as you can see, maneuverability on this isn't bad. It's a bit of a stiff aircraft, if that makes any sense. It's tough to describe. Maybe it's like, it's kind of like how the Spitfire is, like early Spitfires, how they have like very meh roll rate, so you really can't throw your energy around all too much. And so, because they don't have a great roll rate, even though like they can turn really well, this can't turn nearly as well as a Spitfire. I'm not trying to claim that at all, but it just feels a little bit stiff because you really can't like make adjustments all too much. That's kind of what this feels like. Bearing, or, you know, hopefully barring this F4F kind of coming down here, I should be able to dive down, or that F4F for that matter. It looks like he might. I'm going to try to dive down on this P40. Hopefully I don't get interference here, and hopefully this P40 does not notice me. And that's kind of one of the things you're going to start noticing if you actually ever play this vehicle. It's that it's kind of a plane of opportunities, as one could imagine, right? You have to take your opportunities with this plane. You have to find people who are at lesser energy states. You have to find, basically, prey, right? Like, as much as I hate to use the term, because it's not like, you know, I'm not saying seal clubbing insofar as, like, you know, going after noobs or something, but almost kind of like going after helpless opponents. That's almost kind of what you have to do here, right? Go after those those bombers that are, you know, that you might be perpendicular to. Go after a fighter that's low energy. Like this BF-109, it's already got 4 people on him, so it wouldn't really be a great target for me. Plus, he's already moving very quickly. But in general, going after those low energy players is a pretty good move with this aircraft, because it really can't sustain high energy fighting. But I feel like this match is mostly over. We have more or less annihilated these guys, and there's no chance I'm going to be able to climb up high enough. So with that said, let's get into another match. Test this thing out even more. But thus far, am I impressed by it? No, not necessarily, but I'm not disappointed by it. I feel like this is a pretty decent aircraft. It doesn't have good enough speed, I feel like it's on the lower end of speed for this BR, which kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, you really can't ask too much at this BR, and, you know, at one point during this gameplay, I will try to attach some bombs onto it, probably the very last match. So that said, let's get into another match, see what we could do, but... Oh, and also, let me know, by the way, guys, if you like this sort of gameplay where I, you know, give strengths and weaknesses and kind of delve a little bit deeper into the vehicle itself, rather than just being like, oh, here's a kill, there's a kill, boom, 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 you know, that sort of thing. So, that said, next match. So, I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like there's this tendency for humans, for people, to be like, oh, well, you know, this is the best, this is the worst, like, hyperbole has to be everywhere, right? And so, because of that, at least in modern society, and because of that, it's like every aircraft, every vehicle that comes to War Thunder, I feel like a lot of people perpetuate it where it's like, oh, this thing sucks, this thing's great. It's like, honestly, this little Fokker, it's not bad. To be honest with you, it's not bad, not great. Like, am I blown away by it? No. But it's fun, you know, like, it does just enough, and it can more or less kind of play like a heavy fighter, you know, which is nice. But it's not anything where, again, where I'm kind of blown away by it. Let's get a kill, and then I'm going to probably want to land after this. Hopefully I can set this guy's engine on fire before I lose all my ammunition. Oh, and there we go. We have ourselves severe damage. That's really what I wanted. I'm just going to get a little closer to him. Dive down a little. Get a touch closer, then I'm going to land, get some more ammo, and then we can kind of pile back on this. And there we go. We have ourselves the kill. But I feel like there's this, like, innate need for people to feel like something is the best, the worst, whatever, right? Like, maybe it helps with the classification of things. Like, maybe it makes them feel like they're part of something. I'm not sure. But this vehicle, it's good, you know? And it's also got a ton of gun soot here. But it's good. It's slow. It's got surprisingly good armament. Like I said, when you're firing, even though it's not much burst mass, when you're firing as many rounds as this fires, and a good chunk of them are incendiaries, it's not bad. You know, it's actually a pretty decent aircraft. And also the tail gunner, it's a little interesting. It's not like great, but I'll try to show you this here. So as you can see, it's kind of rotating, and that's kind of how it works. It's a little bit of a weird tail gunner system, but again, it's an interesting aircraft. Not anything that I would like go out of my way to say is, you know, great. Like, 'cause you pretty much have to fight bombers who stray a little bit too low, and also heavy fighters who are worse than you, or strike aircraft that are slower than you. Not like the A-36, but rather like the A-20. Yeah, you know, like those are going to be your targets if you're going against, you know, actual aircraft. But that said, again, let me know if you like this type of more talky-talk gameplay. So here's an interesting feature that you'll be seeing, I think, next match. Like, this will probably be my last pure fighter match. I'm going to then use a bomb on this. But as you can see on the very bottom, this is actually a bomb bay with glass on it. So it's really cool, I think. Like, again, this isn't a very good plane, but War Thunder is better for its inclusion in it. At least in my opinion. Is this guy shooting at the base? I don't know if he knows how bases work. Hey, but more power to him, right? Okay, he got it. Okay, let's go in, and I'm going to want to turn down the throttle a little bit because, as you could probably imagine, it starts getting to be a little bit of a problem once you get past extra wide, like 500 kilometers per hour near sea level tends to be where this thing starts getting some into some issues with aerodynamics, primarily when it comes to roll rate and turns. This might be one of the few opportunities I have to go for a fighter, so I'm going to take it. I've already used up like 600 or 550 rounds of ammo, so that's obviously not good. And hitting a smaller target like this is not an ideal situation, but we managed to get it. Very nice. Can't complain about that. And I still have around, what, just under 3/4 of my ammunition left? Not too shabby, you know? In a situation like that, typically I would let, or at least sometimes I would let allies go for it, but that guy was not really taking much damage from my allies, so I decided, you know what? May as well, because he could just as easily, especially in a BF-109 versus American planes, he could just as easily turn around and start whooping my allies. Don't want that to happen. We have another similar opportunity here with the F variant. Now that's going to be a bit tougher. If I'm not, it depends on the variant, but it should have better engine, so better okay, F1 in theory would have better performance, and we have ourselves the kill. I'm starting to okay, thanks guy. I'm starting to think that wow, well, that's what you get with low level. I'm starting to think that when it comes to okay, he wants to crash into me, obviously. I forgot what I was going to say. Gosh darn it, don't you hate that? But not too bad. I mean, real quick, you know, victories there. Can't ever complain about that, in my opinion. I do want to show you what this thing can do against light pillboxes, because you might think, hey, this thing only has LMGs. It's not going to be able to do anything versus them. In my experience, it can, and it does. So that's one thing that this vehicle is really good at. It's going after NPC. So, like, basically these little nodes, I guess you could call them. I'm not really entirely sure what most people want to call them. But these things are so incredibly easy for me to take out. Like, look at that. So quick. And you can get tons and tons of SLRP, basically score in any given match by doing that. But that being said, I'm assuming that this match is over, so I guess we can just do, barring like any further kills in this match, I guess I can just get into a, the next match, and we can see what happens. But I'll just be equipping a bomb in that match, so hopefully all things go well. Okay, we have ourselves a little bit of a chase here, a little bit of a turn. Can I get the kill? Not quite yet. Turn off that throttle, because as I said, after 500, this thing starts really getting stiff in these turns. Compression, Mach number, whatever the term is. It just is not fun. And it makes you feel like you are losing control of your plane. We have severe damage, which means a kill. Was not fully expecting that, but here we are. This guy is still flying, so I don't really feel safe, and we have the kill. Number 4 only took around 2,000 shots, but albeit, I was not a great marksman there. So yes, this is still the same match I was in before, with the 3 kills. Now we have 4 and 6 anti-ground kills. So we only have these 2 guys left, the HE-111 and the BF-109. I am going to go a little bit higher than this BF-109. Suspect he's going to want to do a head-on. Thankfully, we do have this P-39 down there, so maybe he won't. And it looks like this HE-111 is going to try to gunship us for some reason. Okay, don't want to hit my buddy here. It's fine if I die. We have ourselves the kill, and kill number 5. I really don't mind dying in a head-on so much if it guarantees a kill and if I'm already kind of doing well. So, that said, barring this flame kind of miraculously going out, I guess I'll just go equip a single bomb, and we can get into one final match, and that'll be it. So regardless of however many kills I get in that next match, that'll be it. But again, let me know what you guys think about this more commentary-heavy gameplay. So one other kind of interesting thing with this plane is its bomb selection, and the best bomb that it has is going to be the 400 kilogram bomb, but it only has a 167 kilogram explosive filler weight, despite being itself, again, 400 kilograms in weight, which is kind of weird because most of the time they're a little bit closer to about 50%, right? Sometimes, especially when it comes to post-war, you get a bit above 50%. But as I was saying before, there's the glass doors when it comes to the bomb bay to open them up. It looks so cool. That bomb is just barely fitting in there. It is gigantic. Let's see what this does against this base. Like I said, in terms of overall performance, so overall explosive filler equivalent, this bomb, despite only being a single bomb, still has more explosive filler than any of the other bomb options available. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop this 400 kilogram bomb. Not sure I'm going to get away in time because I am very low. And that is still 160. Oh, that's it. It only did about half the damage of the base. I think I am in an up tier, mind you, so I think that has something to do with it. But it only did about half. So for a bomb, for a base of this BR, you're probably going to need around 320-ish kilograms of explosive filler equivalent. And at that point, you should be good. I got some... Oh, this guy said on my 6. This guy's been covering me. So thank you, guy. You know, these people are so nice in War Thunder, you know. Like, War Thunder gets a bad rap, but if you just show kindness... I mean, sometimes when you show kindness, it backfires and other people get pissed off. But, you know, not all the time. So we have a MiG-3 and a MiG-3 right there. I'm assuming... Oh, this is a bad one. This is a pincer. I'm about to die here. So let's just do a head-on with this guy. I don't really care what happens here. I've already done my part and shown enough gameplay, so this guy's going to be putting you guys out of your misery, if you guys are lucky enough, at least. Can I turn in on this guy? No, he got my friend! Oh, no. Like I said, it doesn't really matter how well I do in this match. I'm going to post it, because ultimately you guys need to see more or less how this thing performs in a whole bunch of different situations. And that includes me crashing into a bunch of buildings! Woohoo! Holy macaroni. Okay, you know, I'm gonna go see if I can get this guy with my turret gunner. Yep. Okay, we got someone else on me. This is and the P-50 went for this guy too. That's always unfortunate. So with that said, I think that's probably going to be about it for this entire gameplay. So thanks everyone for watching. Seriously, it does mean the world to me. You know, I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below about the Fokker G.IA Mercury. Because, you know, I think it's actually, like I said, it's a very much a welcome aircraft in War Thunder. And I really wish that they would do more stuff like this, because having a plane like this from from the Netherlands, it's just such a cool feature, you know? It's it definitely looks good. It's not just adding the newest planes and tanks in game. So with that said, thanks again, and assuming I don't get another kill, ooh, you know what? Yep, I'm not going to get another kill. Take care, everyone.